Smack dab between The Wrath of Khan and The Search for Spock, Sega released a vector-based Star Trek arcade game and promptly beamed versions of that game to home consoles and computers too. I'm warping back to 1983 for Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator on the Atari 2600. Next.
This video supported in part by...
Playing VR, I tend to sweat. It gives me an edge. So King of Nerds happens to give me an edge too. Let King of Nerds give you the edge. Bye, King of Nerds.
Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John, I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you for taking the time to click on this video. As a certified Trekkie, I was a regular player of the Star Trek arcade game, especially the one where you could sit down in the captain's chair. Which, by the way, did you know is being released as a Hallmark Christmas ornament this year? Alright, mental note to go to Hallmark. Anyway, in 1983, Sega ported Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator to the Atari 2600. And Jeff Lawrence really did a remarkable job. As far as arcade conversions to the VCS go, this ranks right up there with the best of them. Though not quite the Kobayashi Maru, this Star Trek experience is only a simulation, so even if you blow up the Enterprise, you can always just hit reset and play again. Almost like a video game. Huh. Let's go try it out. Even a little music for our Star Trek game. Got an Enterprise there, there's Sega 1983, and that's all you see until you start the game. And so I guess the first thing I should communicate is that the game is the game. It's like the arcade game. There are no difficulty switches, there are no game options. You can't even push game reset, you just push the fire button to begin. So I'm going to tap the fire button, then I'm going to pause so we can talk about the parts of the screen. So there we go. All right, so just pause right here. So a lot going on the screen and a lot to notice that went right in this game. First, if you compare it to the original arcade game, the layout is almost identical. It's missing fidelity, right? It's not a vector game or whatever, but it does a tremendous job of maximizing what the 2600 could do. So let's take a quick tour of the screen. We'll start at the top. The very top is your score. That's how many points no, actually not points. They're STU, standard training units or something. Oh, simulation training units, I think they're. Anyway, points, their score. The upper left there, those are your gauges. And just like in the arcade game, you have 3 gauges that indicate remaining amount of the different resources that you have available. The top one is shield. So the yellow boxes there is the shield. And as your shield wears down, so secondary indicator we'll get to in a second, but your shield wears down, those will go from 3 to 2 to 1. Right below that are your photon torpedoes, how many photons you have. We'll talk about the photons in a second. They're a really cool weapon that you can use when fighting. Right below that is the amount of warp drive you have available. Plays a little fast and loose with Star Trek lore, but you don't fill up your warp drive meter. In this game you do, because it allows you to warp, move around the screen faster and through enemies. So that's all the gauges. In the upper right, that's the radar scanner. Now that's an overview, kind of top down of what's going on. And what you're seeing right now on the scanner, in fact, there's one of everything, almost one of everything on the screen right now. That little yellowish, greenish box there is a starbase. To the left of that, the little purple one is they're both Klingons. The purple and red are Klingons. The purple is a roaming Klingon, and the red one is a Klingon that's working to destroy your starbase. And in fact, if I unpause and show you, that red one is actively shooting the starbase while the purple is kind of on patrol. Below that, all of that then, oh, and there's your Enterprise, by the way, in dead center, if you hadn't guessed. And then below that is kind of your view screen. Now they say it's a simulated view in 3D. It's looking out the front of the Enterprise. It's looking out the front window. It's that view screen, so you can see what's directly in front of you. So like if you rotate, look, I see there's the starbase, there's the Klingon, I can shoot him. Yeah, so it's a view out the front screen with that reticle being your targeting thing. So below that then is this bar that right now is this kind of yellow amber color, and that's your shield force indicator, and it will change depending on how much shield you have. If you have 3 or more shield, it will be yellow like it is now. When it gets orange, it will come down to, it'll be 2 shields left. Light red, you have 1 shield left, and dark red, 0 shields. The next impact is going to kill you. I'm not sure how to approach this game. I guess I'll explain. I'll just sit, go shoot a Klingon while we're talking. Let's shoot him. Yeah, so that's a Klingon level, we'll call it. I'm going to pause again, so we're going to the next level. The game consists of 6 rounds repeated. They get progressively more difficult. So you have a round like we just played, 2 rounds like we just played of Klingons attacking your starbase. And then you have a bonus level that's an asteroid field or a meteor shower that you can go around looking for starbases to recharge your ship. Then you have 2 more rounds 4 and 5, are more Klingons to fight. And then finally you have NOMAD. Now NOMAD, it's interesting, this is from the time of the motion picture and the Star Trek II, Star Trek III, yet NOMAD was an enemy from a Star Trek TOS episode called The Changeling. Doesn't matter. It's a simulation. They just made up a bad guy you have to attack. So the 6th round, you have to destroy NOMAD. There's an additional enemy here, which is at the top, there's a UFO. You see, as I move around, he kind of moves away from me whenever he can. If you can catch up with him... Now, he's 5,000 points. We'll talk about scoring in a second, but if you ever see that UFO, he's definitely worth taking the time to seek out and destroy because he's worth as much as everything else on the screen combined, usually. Also, staying on the move is good advice. And you see that Klingon is currently shooting at the starbase. I want to let him destroy the starbase just to show you. If he destroys it, all Klingons left on screen will make a beeline for you, like that. There we go. And that gets us to the meteor shower. Is a meteor? I guess this is asteroid field. They're not moving. So there's a starbase, and you can go around and collect all these to power up your Enterprise if you have lost any energy. Boop. If you run into something, though, that's over. And then this would be round 4, so it's 2 more rounds of Klingon. So it basically goes Klingon, Klingon, bonus, Klingon, Klingon, NOMAD. And it does that entire count of 6 over and over each time. And the goal, of course, is to get the most points available. I should also mention that scoring, there's a lot to know about scoring, and I'm going to continue to play here while I'm poking around. I usually try to get the one attacking my starbase first, so he doesn't attack it anymore, so it doesn't get destroyed. Then I'll try to get the UFO. If he touches you, he drains all kinds of power, but if he doesn't destroy you, you get all those points. I then should point out your photon torpedoes, I'm getting the scoring in a second, they'll destroy all enemies in a direct line. So if you can get a couple of enemies lined up, well, we'll just get one for now. Let's line this guy up, and photon, you pull back. Got all 3 of them. See that? Because I pulled back on the... I'm going to pause. I pulled back on the stick to fire a photon, and that allowed me to kill all the enemies that were in direct line of sight, or even just line of fire, because it goes through all of them. The last thing to know is there's... I told you scoring. We're getting... The last thing to know about control is that when you pull back and hit the fire button, you warp, right? So your warp meter is the last thing on the bottom there, and as you warp around the screen... You can go through enemies like you saw me doing, and then you can not all out of warp energy now. I can't do it anymore. In fact, we'll talk at the end of this video about they thought you had to be reminded about that control. So let's talk about the scoring. So the scoring is again based on level. So if you are different sectors, so I'll pop up this graphic. Effectively, the UFO is always 5,000, and Klingon ships are like 100 points times the level you're on. So the farther you are in the game, the more points you're going to get for them. You also get points for your star bases that are left, and if they're kind of these yellowish green like they are now, you get a certain amount for them. But if you dock with them, they change color. They do restore some power, just like they do in the bonus levels, but you get less bonus for them. And there's no time limit, so you can take your time roaming around the map, lining up enemies, staying on the move, doing whatever you want to stay alive. It's more strategic than action. There's a couple lined up. Let's photon them. Oh, I missed one. There's one there. And then finally get points for NOMAD, of course. You saw the pop-up graphic. It's just like the arcade game. If you played the arcade game, they did such a good job of not just recreating the layout and the look of the game, but also the scoring and the strategy and the way that you play. Let me just get to NOMAD once so we can talk about what's going on. All right, this is the NOMAD level. So the bright white dot is NOMAD. He's going to zip around the screen. I want to pause and talk about it because it might end quickly. He zips around the screen dropping these mines. As you try to shoot him, if you shoot the mines, they can blow up and hurt you. So you want to try not to destroy them. They don't cost you points, but they could cost you a shield. And ultimately, if you can destroy NOMAD, big explosion, rainbow graphics happen, and you get... I think it's like 30,000 points. It's a bunch of points you get for destroying NOMAD. It was on that scoring that I showed you. But if you take too long, he'll just leave. And then you have to go back and kind of go start again without getting all the bonus. So let's see if I can destroy him. Warp can be very handy here. There he is. Oh, I got a mine. Got him! Kaboom! Blew him up, got all the points, a rainbow, and then I move on to the next sector, and we proceed. And if you just run out of power, let's let them kill me. That'll also, of course, be the end of the game. You run out of shields. I got one more hit. There's that dark red color. Boom. It ends on the title screen. So it's just wide open adventure where you can take your time, you can be strategic, you learn to pilot this ship, and you're accumulating experience that you'll eventually use when you're taken out of the simulator and given captaincy of your own starship, I'm sure, is how it works. So I'm going to try a high score run. Look, when I'm really focusing, I can get 100,000 or so. Sometimes I blow it early and don't, but I'm going to just do the best that I can. Before I do, I'm going to remind you of our store over at GenXGrownUp.com/merch. We can get all kinds of original, cool, nerdy designs, original artists creating work, or us mashing up our logo with other stuff. Look, you can get those printed on hats and shirts and mugs and tees. Take a look anyway if you've not been there. You might find something you like, and then you'll get that thing you like, and you'll be helping us out too. So we certainly appreciate you. Keep us in mind. Okay, when you're ready to start a new game, all you have to do is hit the fire button and you go again. You don't even have to get up and hit the reset on the console. So here we go. I always start with the Klingon who's shooting the starbase, and there's nothing else to gain here. So there's no UFO or anything, so I can just take this guy out. I'm going a little slow to explain it, so I got hit, but we'll take him out. Got a pretty long range, and we're going to get all kinds of bonuses here, so I'm not worried about getting hit once or twice. Let's see. Oh, I'll get that UFO, though. He's coming. He's coming. Turn around. Now, I've taken a couple of hits, but I'll make it all back because I'm about to go to that asteroid field, and we'll be fine. All right. Power up. All right, so there's the first one down there at the bottom. Lower right, see the square? That's the first starbase. Go get that guy. There's one. You can usually, if you don't hit anything, you usually get 2 or 3 of those during this level. So it's a good time to refill. Here's one on the lower left now. Refills all your meters. I'm back to yellow. I'm in good shape. There we go. Maybe one more. It seems to be on a timer, but the timer's not on screen. It's like 3 or 4 I can make it through. All right. Ooh. All right, got hit a couple times, but there's UFO I want to get for sure. There's too many points to pass up. You got to kind of trick him into coming near you. Like that. There we go. And always staying on the move. Don't line up with those guys like directly above or below, and you're going to do better. There we go. Now, I could dock with that starbase. I really don't need it, and it would only deduct points, so there's no particular bonus for using your photon. It's just cool. There, I got 2 of them. That's pretty good. And get this guy. Oh, he's behind the starbase. There we go. There's... All right, Nomad. Oh, where's he at? He was right in front of me. Ah, I missed him. Oh, he's hurting me. I got him. Just by the skin of my teeth, though. Now, I'm really hurting, so I got a little bit replenished here, but I have time. Because then the level starts again. I'm going to dock at the starbase because I need the health. All right, let's go get the UFO. That's 5,000 points. We don't want to pass up that potential. Oh, he shot me again, but I'm okay. Now, one more level here, and I'll be into the bonus, which is the... this time it'll be the meteor shower. So that... Oh, 2 more to get. Just try not to get hit again if I can help it. Ugh. I could dock. Let me dock with that starbase, just for a little more health. There we go. And then we got a bonus level coming up. Now, you see these meteors, they're moving a little faster, and they're moving left to right on their own. Let's see, he went to the lower right now. You kind of have to fly against them when you're getting things that are on the right-hand side of the screen. There's 2. Look, I'm full power again. So you really have good potential to replenish your stocks on these levels. Let's get the red Klingon first. Got him. All right, so these guys are all teamed up. Oh, don't want to dock with that. There, I got 3 of them together with a photon. That's great. You have a long range of fire, too. Oh, don't hit me, don't hit me. Oh, keep moving. Got him. All right, one more level, and we'll be on to Nomad again. You can also wreck into Klingons to destroy them. You get the 100 points, but you also lose shield, so it's not advised. Woohoo! 4 at once with that photon. Nice. Got it. All right, on to Nomad, so. Got him. I usually just rapid fire. 100,000. All right. I'm happy with this performance. If I die now, at least you've seen plenty of the game, you know what it's like. And I didn't die super fast, although you can see their bullets are getting faster. I might make it through one more. Ooh, 2 shots right away. Not great. Let's dock with this starbase. There we go. Oh, missed. All right, docked. Let's get this UFO. They're all shooting at me. Just keep moving. Oh, no, no! Oh, dark red. I could die. Keep moving. Photon. Whew. All right, is bonus level next? Yes. Good. I really need these. And it's moving much faster now, so I've got to be very careful. Oh, I ran into it. Ah. Oh, no, no, no. Doc. Get out of the way. Use the warp. There. Oh, I have no photons. Ugh. Not gonna hit that UFO, am I? Well, I might. I got it. Where's the Klingon? Oh, he got me. Oh, made it to 2.4. All right. So, look, 128,000. If you're more careful, and if you're not trying to narrate at the same time, I bet you could do better than this. I have done better before, back in the day. It has been a while since I've gotten a nice high score, but if you're very methodical, if you'll just pay attention since there's no timer, make your way around the screen, learn how to cluster the Klingons together so you can attack them, and then just make copious use of those bonus levels, you know, the asteroid field, because you can usually replenish every 3 screens, so it's a well-structured game. Not as difficult as the arcade was, punishing, because they don't have to rake quarters out of you here, you've already bought the cartridge, but the same kind of fun. If only it had a captain's chair I could sit in. One more notable thing to mention is that this version of Star Trek included an overlay for your Atari joystick. Since there's only one button available, and warp required you to pull back on the stick and press the button simultaneously, this pack-in could be slipped on top of your CX-40 to help remind you of the controls. Now maybe Sega thought we wouldn't understand the concept of combining the fire button with a stick direction for warp, but I remember this overlay always laying in the bottom of my Atari cartridge box, and even when I played Star Trek, I never bothered to use it. Although, now when I see a copy of this boxed in the wild, that overlay is the first thing I look for. You know, I highlight a different vintage game each week here on Friday Plays. If you have a favorite you'd like to see me feature, let me know down in the comments. Meanwhile, links to a couple previous episodes you can watch right now are linked here and here. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video. I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.